Hello, and welcome to Mean Reviews, No Stars Given, the show where indie authors and filmmakers actually agree to have their work reviewed by me and a special helper. Stunning. Tonight, on a very special episode, we may have the meanest mean reviews ever because my guest co host this week enjoys being mean to me. Please welcome author Charity Ayres.
Well, I
We
mean,
reviewed,
if you weren't such an easy target, I'd probably be nicer, but
we reviewed your book, Madcap, on episode 2, so I imagine you're furious and hurting. But welcome anyway, Charity.
thank you.
Now, before we get right into the first review, just a quick note about comments. We welcome each and every one, but we'll only be looking at them after we review each book. So a little context would be extremely helpful by the time we see them. Thank you. Our first book to review is The Chain of Time by Killian Crane. As the cover clearly states, it's not actually a book, it's a short story, a horror short story about children and a scary thing. That's my spoiler-free synopsis. Do you have anything to add, Charity,
Um,
to my synopsis?
to your synopsis, it was a wonderfully short, slightly spooky, something that I think everyone can kind of understand, maybe been through,
Maybe been through. Well, life
maybe.
in life in childhood in South Dakota is very different than it is here in Washington. But let's get right to the things that we like. It's the day after Halloween, so I chose liking dressing up in costumes for parties and charity events. And here's a selection of costumes my wife and I have worn out in public over the years. The first couple are a uh, it was a white trash Halloween party, uh, and my wife is pretending to be pregnant. She's got a Finger Hut catalog in her nightgown, and she would go around saying, "I'm drinking for two." And then the next one is us at a Boys and Girls Club event, dressed as old timey swimsuits. And then her 40th birthday, which was a 70s theme. And the last two were from a fundraiser for an arts and cultural center where it was a Downton Abbey theme. So we were playing croquet, and then I was having some brandy and a cigar, neither
So
of which I like.
your wife looked great, but I see you were going for the horror theme on every single one of those.
Every single one.
Yeah, every
I that
single.
I have no choice about.
Yeah.
But yeah. Oh, so I was going to say, um, we dress up in costumes, not just because our lives are awful, but we also do it just to have fun and occasionally win prizes. My wife won scariest costume at her work. Yes, yesterday, Friday,
Did she
Friday, I guess.
just wear like you? I mean, was that?
No, I should have put the picture up for it, but she dressed as the little boy in the movie It, in the raincoat. That's like, we all float down here, the brother. Um, so that was very nice. But we love wearing costumes because we get to make fun of people. I love that. And we get to make fun of history, which I also love. It's just amazing. So how come a horror story that I read around Halloween doesn't have anybody wearing costumes for fun? I mean, I
It
guess the
does
scary
seem.
the
Yeah,
scary
go
thing
ahead.
that I mentioned in the synopsis sort of wears a costume as a nice, not scary thing, but not for fun, for evil.
Yeah.
And I cannot support that. From now on, I would like all horror stories, books, movies, etc., to have people wearing costumes for fun. And I know that's going to involve a lot of rewriting and shooting extra scenes to tack on to all the existing horror movies, but I think it will be worth it. So, as for Chains of Time by Killian Crane, it gets 0 out of 6 sexy vampires, nurses, and witches from me. What about you, Charity? What do you like?
Well, you know what? I liked that the book had a parent who was supporting her kid no matter what horrifyingly bad choices they were making. Because you just don't get enough of that. You get parents that try to parent and tell them, hey, do good things, instead of just letting their kids run amok and do whatever they want. So I love that the parent took a different stance at points in here. So,
Yeah,
that was
it's a kind
refreshing.
of a spoiler, but she's an enabler for certain. Um, yeah,
You
um,
say enabler, I say supporter, you know,
yeah. Well, I think we have identified our political parties right there. So
possibly. Yeah.
anyway, um, all right. Well, let's move on to what we don't like, and I don't like remembering unpleasant times from when I was a child. Uh, I was a child back in the 1970s when people didn't care about teasing or bullying, parenting. I mean, hell, even sexism and racism were going strong back then. So, as a short, skinny child with glasses, I did have my share of tough times. Often, only my quick wits and smart mouth saved me from a beating. Something my
So you got beat
dad
up a lot.
thinks. No, never. Not once, which is stunning. And my dad thinks that it would have been helpful if it had happened, since my mom would not let him smack me or my brothers like he wanted to. By the way, I have lots of great pictures of me as a tiny elementary school child with glasses and stick arms that I think most of you would have enjoyed laughing at, but I decided not to share any of them because fuck you. Anyway, as you probably figured out, this story reminded me of unpleasant times when I was a child, to which I say, no thank you. It wouldn't have been so bad if the author hadn't done such a good job of jogging my memory. So thanks for that. I give this story 0 out of 13 cruel nicknames, and it really should have gotten 12 or 13 cruel nicknames, but I wanted to keep my tradition of always awarding 0 on these sub ratings. So, but you understand. I think everybody gets what I'm saying. So,
I
what
mean, you could give it red check marks for trauma.
I could, but I don't.
Okay.
Instead, it got 0, 0 cruel nicknames. But what do you not like, Charity?
For me, it was the sugar and the carbs. They played a very dominant role in this, and I don't like sugar or carbs. So I was kind of offended that I kept having to deal with that in the story. Personally, I think, if you're going to overindulge, it should probably be with like burgers, maybe a nice big steak. So I was,
Carrots.
yeah, well, a few veggies thrown in here and there, but not the carbs, not the sugar. I mean, if you're going to go unhealthy, then at least dress it up a little bit. Do something a little original because, it just kind of was offensive at how much it was showing up.
Of course, I disagree with you completely. Carbs and sugar are amazing. Um, yeah, I mean, obviously, on our other show, Indie Mayhem, we had a lot of disagreements about food. So I didn't expect for us to agree about food
Yeah.
ever. Um, but you'll probably not want to come over to our house for meals.
Well, I
So,
mean, at least the book didn't have Velveeta in it. So it does have that going for it.
well, that we saw, yeah. I
Hopefully not.
mean, there could have been one of my daughters made me Velveeta fudge once, and it was as bad as it sounds. We threw it away, but but so it could have been.
Well, I mean, if
Anyway,
it did have Velveeta, it would definitely fall into that horror range for me. So,
oh, that's a great tip for Killian.
yeah.
Add some Velveeta into your horror stories.
Yeah,
All right.
he can steal
Oh,
that.
yeah. Thanks.
Absolutely.
It's now time for things we can talk about that we liked without spoiling the plot. Charity, would you care to go first?
Well, I mean, I liked that there were lots of trees. I also like that there was a bit of a nod towards cowboys. I think cowboys are highly underrated. So I feel like that was something that really kind of gave it a nice little homey feel that you don't get in a lot of short stories.
Excellent. I liked that there is a lot of milk drinking in this story because I love milk. I drink around 2 gallons of whole milk each week, which means that to be safe, I have to have 3 gallons of milk in the house on grocery shopping day, which is Saturday. Sadly, all of the milk in this story was chocolate milk, which I enjoy, but it's sort of a dessert, unlike grown-up plain white milk, which is a reasonable and even laudable drink for adult men with their meals and snacks. Um, in fact, I like to think that it is because of all the drinking of milk that I've never broken a bone that anyone could prove.
Well, I think you have to make effort in order for bones to be broken. That might be necessary.
That is a great point. There is also a pocket watch that features in this story, and I like pocket watches. It's been on my list of things I want as a present from my wife for years, along with spats, a prescription monocle, a tuxedo with tails, and thousands of other things. Sadly, since my wife refuses to buy me every single thing that I want due to her sanity, I am forced to only enjoy pocket watches in stories, TV shows, and movies, which happens far less often than it should, in my opinion. So thank you for that, Mr. Crane.
What was the second one on that list? It sounded like you said Spanx, and I'm really thinking that's not what you said. Spats.
Spats. Yeah.
What's a spat?
We don't have time to discuss.
Oh, no. You have to tell me what a spat.
I don't. I'll send you a picture. But I'll just say it is olden-timey clothing, an article of olden-timey clothing for men. But anyway, it is now the actual awarding of less than a full star to the book time. I give The Chain of Time by Killian Crane 1/3 of a star, mainly on the strength of having so much milk drinking. If it were milkless, well, the lack of people wearing costumes for fun, especially since I read it near Halloween, regardless of what time of year the story takes place, and for all the unpleasant childhood memories it unearthed, I would have given it 1/1,000,000th of a star. So milk has saved the day again. Charity, what portion of a star did you give it?
I think I would give it maybe 1/10 of a star, because honestly, the whole sugar and carbs and just, I couldn't even. And honestly, as usual, we don't agree on things. I don't like milk. So there is no redeeming.
It is terrifying that you are.
It's all right.
Oh, my stupid internet. But I don't know if you heard what I said, but I said it is terrifying that you're an educator with your anti-milk bias. But now we're going to go check on the comments so far. Oh, boy, there's a bunch. Some butt kissing. Oh, my gosh, one of the authors is here. That's great. And then they're just kind of ignoring the show, talking. Oh, well, I'll give you that.
Yeah.
All right. Prescient. I do have to share this comment because, taken out of context, I just think that is a great comment. I mean, but Madeline is right. They were awesome. I did get to see the picture of her with her outfit.
Well, I mean, there's nothing wrong with being horny on Halloween.
And the filth begins. And by it, she means Velveeta. So. Oh, nice. A burn from Mr. Green.
Oh,
1870s.
You know what? I almost said that, David.
Your reserve was very, very polite. Well, and yeah, Nikki knows what I'm talking about. However, I don't think you could. Okay, so Madeline said, could we find that? I don't believe so. And then Sanity returns to the comments. How can someone not like sugar and carbs? Charity's definitely.
I never claimed to be human.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, no, not the pie.
Oh my God, and that is not true. Velveeta is not the anti-cheese. Velveeta is Colby, Swiss, and cheddar blended all together for a creamy taste that melts with ease.
Are they sponsoring you yet? Because you
they
really
should.
need to get on
I don't
that.
know why they're not. I mean, I feel like I'm doing most of the marketing work for Velveeta.
Pretty much.
Ugh, we don't have time to get really
It is
deep
not
into
a cheese
discussion.
It is not a cheese anything.
there is rumor has it that there is cheese in it. So
Rumor.
some amount of cheese. And and there are actually laws about what you can call cheese. So even
Yeah.
things like pepper jack has to be called, a cheese food or a cheese product,
Yeah.
not cheese. I had a client that was a cheese manufacturer. Um, anyway, it was fascinating. I should probably do a show just on Velveeta
Just on
and cheese.
cheese, it would be Gouda.
Uh, I hope Bob Magoo is watching because he loves puns and he would probably appreciate that. Oh boy, the Velveeta just keeps taking the hits. All right, this is awful. That is not even true.
Oh,
What,
yes,
what
it
STD looks
well,
like a brick? I
I
mean,
mean, I don't want to think about what STD that would look like, but Velveeta definitely does not look appealing. And he froze just in time for me to talk all over that. Did you see? That was perfect. Oh,
oh no, it's
oh.
damn internet. And there's
See,
some great
okay. It's
comments too, and it's really ruining this. But Adam's got a wicked case of Velveeta. And yeah, that is true. I do threaten a lot of pictures. All right. Oh, look. Yes.
yeah. He's a
She
glutton for
is one of my
punishment.
favorites. Yeah. All right. So that's enough of that. We got to get back to the exciting. Oops, I forgot to take away the last one. Doing great on the managing the show. All right. So thank you for all your comments. Please keep them coming. We will come back and look at more at the end of the show. But now let's get to know Charity a little tiny bit better.
Yeah, not too much. And then what? I get whole screen?
Yeah.
I'll
Take it
just,
away, Charity.
all right. So once you're done listening to all of my insults and my general meanness towards Ron, because I really enjoyed that, go ahead and pick up one of my books, Loki Bound or Madcap, and you will find characters that are just as mean as I am. So that's always fun. I also have several short stories out there. I am a Three Ravens publishing author, but I do a lot of different anthologies as well. I am an English teacher during the day. I also work for one of the local colleges teaching classes, English, not creative writing, though I do teach creative writing at the high school. And I am a common visitor, guest, panelist at all different kinds of fantasy and science fiction conventions. Was that enough?
Excellent,
Did I
excellent
just
work on tiny, I would say. But I'm Ron L Lahr. I cook, I bake, I garden, I write. I write epic fantasy like, oh yeah, I should make me big. I matter. God damn it. Hey. I write epic fantasy like the Cathaldi Chronicles. I also write humorous science fiction like You Get What You Steal, which I think is maybe the best title of all time. I also write serious self-help books like You're as Stupid as You Are Fat, How to Talk to Women. All of my books are available on Amazon. Please go buy them all as soon as the show is over, and then go to my website at cathaldi.com and support me on Patreon. I mean, if you're going to do what I say. So, I mean, I don't expect anybody to do any of those things.
Yeah,
Really.
no.
But, you got to ask. All right, it's time for Book 2. The Devil Walks in Blood. Nick Holleran Urban Fantasy Special Edition Books 1 and 2. Nick Holleran Urban Fantasy Series number 1 by David Green. So first off, go fix the title of your book on Amazon. That was ridiculous. Anyway, the synopsis is a private investigator dies but is brought back to life, and then he can see the literal hell that is life on Earth, including ghosts and monsters. He gets involved in some serious shit, and he helps people, ghosts, and more. Do you have anything to add to that synopsis, Charity?
I will say it's got that very like 1950s PI kind of feel to it, even with all of the paranormal aspects to it. So if you like the old style detective novels or
Noir.
you like paranormal fantasy, either one of those, it's going to fill that spot for you.
I agree. If you like that sort of thing. I like collaborating. And I don't have a picture for this because collaborating, it's a concept, really. And writing can be a very solitary thing unless you collaborate. And then it could be 100 times as much fun. And I've collaborated with several people, including all the guest co-hosts on Mean Reviews, and also including Robin Burchett on our game show, Indie Mayhem, and on our novel, You Get What You Steal. Still an amazing title, don't you think, Charity?
Yeah, sure.
Fuck. Collaborating can be energizing and fulfilling, and as I mentioned before, quite fun. Sadly, besides Robin, no other author has approached me to write a book with them. Not even a really bad author. And what do they have to lose? But David Green, the sole author of The Devil Walks in Blood, stands front and center as the worst perpetrator of this infamy because I have dropped many, many hints for him. It sure would be fun to write a book with a foreigner, I said one time. And another time I mentioned that it would probably be helpful to have an American co-author for the books in this particular series because it takes place in the United States, in Oregon, and he is in Ireland. And Oregon is very close to Washington State, where I live, and I have been to Oregon many, many times, unlike Mr. Green. And his response to that was crickets. So I've decided to stop being subtle, even though I am well known for my subtlety, and give The Devil Walks in Blood 0 out of 6 unselfish collaborations. So, Charity, what do you like?
Well, I will say that David already talked to me about doing a collaboration, so it kind of sucks to be
Son
you.
of a bitch. His score just drops every moment. All right, so what do you like?
Well, I really enjoyed the approach of the story, but I like pets, and there really wasn't any pets in this. I feel like Nick Halloran would have been a completely different person if he just had a dog to go home to, because you're not going to be so depressed and willing to be dead and dealing with the dead quite as much if you have a wonderful, sweet little puppy dog who loves you and wants to go on walks with you.
And this is your dog.
Yes, and that's my sweet little Violet with her big eyes that she always gives you the sad face, even when you're giving her treats and telling her she's beautiful. So
this is my superior dog, Misty. Just in case people are wondering, she was helping us prepare the garlic bed. We planted, I don't know, over 100. We had a lot of garlic. But let's move to what we don't like because we're running out of time. I don't like David's rabid female fans. For those of you who watched last week's episode where Mr. Green guest co-hosted, you're already aware of the unpleasant and unseemly discussion in the comments during the live broadcast by various purportedly human females about Mr. Green's dreamy eyes and beard and general attractiveness. It was disgusting. Then, soon after the show ended, one of them emailed me this abomination. How much time did David Green fangirl at AOL.com or whatever spend on this? Actually, not as much as I thought at first. It's pretty sloppy work. But anyway, I cannot take a sex symbol seriously as an author. Plus, he's obviously cheating by having an Irish accent. That makes anyone seem sexier than they really are. My challenge? Try speaking perfectly with no discernible accent, and then see how the ladies like you, David. And you fangirls out there, grow up. Please, maybe a grown man. This guy is the leader of the free world. Isn't that sexy? Anyway, I give The Devil Walks in Blood and author David Green himself 0 out of 742 Fabios. You son of a bitch. Anyway, Charity, what don't you like?
Well, see, mine's not quite that deep. Unfortunately, I didn't like how many people there were. I also didn't like that the PI went out of his way so much to help people. That kind of bothered me. Like, why wasn't he helping himself instead? I feel like he needed to be a little more selfish. But really what got me the worst was the focus on love. I was like, who needs that? Why is everything about love? Why do you have to have this other person? I mean, if he had given up on the whole idea of love, he probably would have been better off and happier. And then Ron froze.
Well, my heart breaks for you. That's all I can
Is that
say.
what it is?
You broken, broken thing. But let's move on to things we could talk about that we liked without spoiling the plot. I liked absolutely nothing. I was too mad about those damn fangirls and not collaborating. It spoiled what is probably a completely serviceable novel. Although, ugh, all right. I mean, I did like that it took place in America, I guess, and the Pacific Northwest, even though that's hell in his book, and I like it and choose to live there. But what about you? What do you like about the book that you can talk about without spoiling the plot?
I actually liked that it was in hell because I feel like that was a really accurate depiction of everyday life for pretty much everyone. So, you might as well make it something you know. So I love when authors actually write about something they know.
Ugh, hard to argue with that. That is a
Yeah.
good one. All right, it's time for ratings. I give The Devil Walks in Blood, Nick Holleran Urban Fantasy Special Edition Books 1 and 2, Nick Holleran Urban Fantasy Series number 1 by David Green, 1/3 millionth of a star. Not just because of the ridiculously long name, I mean, but it didn't help for sure, but also because of his fangirls making it impossible to take his work seriously, and the fact that we didn't collaborate on this or any of David's other books. So ultimately, for jealousy. Okay. Anyway, uh, what did you rate the book, Charity?
I would give it -2 stars
Oh my God.
because no pets. I mean, come on. And then really focused on love with all of this hell going on? No, absolutely not.
Negative 2. This
Yeah,
is the meanest mean
negative
reviews
two.
ever. Awesome. All right, let's go back to this. Ugh. All right. All right. Well, here's William pimping your books, your
He's good at
audiobooks.
that.
Um, only Ron. That's true. I want to start an only Ron account where I threaten to be naked if people don't give me money.
So people pay you not to do it.
Right. Yeah. I
Okay.
mean, that seems like a winner, I
I
think.
mean, yeah, you could definitely make your money off of that.
David doesn't remember any of this. Well, Irish are notorious drunks, so
Well,
no surprise. Uh, cute dog,
thank
more brown
you.
nosing.
He was talking about my
He was
dog.
cat. I'm sure. But yeah, I don't think there's any point in brown nosing me. So yeah, I'm sure he was brown nosing you. So anyway, Nikki prefers cats. I like both.
Yeah, I do too.
Dreaming eyes, bunch of bull crap.
Well, we know she's not talking about you now, Ron.
Oh yeah, no, if she was talking about me, it'd be very believable. But David Green, Tiger King, that's very nice. I'll send you the picture so you can use it in your marketing, David. Oh, isn't that nice? I do. That's true. I've been married a long time. Oh,
I don't
that's
like people.
hilarious
People
coming
suck.
from William.
I know,
That,
right?
yeah, yeah, the won't say where he lives and I mean, gives off a very strong survivalist in a bunker vibe.
Well, he is the hillbilly for a reason.
Well, everybody's life is hell. You know? Oh, Nikki's got a good one.
This is
Yeah.
absolutely true.
See, it would I think it'd make a lot of money. I'm gonna send you the picture, and I'm gonna try and get it to be used for all your appearances from now on the Go Indie Now network. All right. So thank you everybody for your comments. I would thank everyone for participating in the show, but that will happen in my weekly wrap up, so I don't have to do it, which is a great time saver for me. Here we go. Thank you for watching Mean Reviews, No Stars Given. Please like this show and subscribe to the Go Indie Now channel. I'd also like to thank
Charity Ayres
for being today's guest co-host. You were magnificent. Everyone should buy your stuff. I was truly lucky to have you with me here on the show. We should totally hang out sometime because we are very much actual, in real life, friends. I also need to thank the 2 writers or filmmakers who agreed to let us review their book or movie. You are very trusting, and I appreciate that. Even though their stuff is not to my liking, as evidenced by the fact that they received not even 1 star from me, I recommend that you purchase their work, even if it's just out of pity. So thank you.
For The Devil Walks in Blood by David Green.
And also,
For The Chain of Time by Killian Crane.
you 2 are the best. If you would like to have your book or film reviewed on this show, please email me at ronlodelllar@gmail.com. That's almost it. In fact, there's only one thing left to say, but it's an important thing. So remember,
It's always time to go indie now.